fun. Here at Wedderburn, and I'm catching up with Darren Carroll. Firstly, Darren, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure, Paul. Always.
We're going to do a little bit more going forward. I'm going to get through the sales series when I want to start changing up on loose lines and things like that, and I'm going to rely on you a little bit because I used to pride myself on knowing most things about harness racing in Victoria. I wouldn't have a clue sometimes. I turn around and there's that much happens in the world. But I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm glad that you said yes to that one, that's for sure. So I've actually locked you in now on this conversation. You know that?
Now. Yeah. Well, you're jet setting around these days, Paul. I can't keep up with you.
I can't keep up with myself. It's not about that. It's about harness racing and celebrating harness racing. Firstly, Congratulations today. Major fire. And this is why I want to get you here. Alex Ashwood, Taylor French, Liam Alder. There's plenty of people behind the scenes that do plenty there. Good win. Congratulations. I reckon you got yourself a very, very nice mare.
Yeah, she's a lovely mare. We bought her from New Zealand not even a year ago now, and they've done a fantastic job with her. She probably went through the grades very quickly and then had a spell, and she's come back so good. Like, she just looks magnificent. They even put a bit of variety into her and sent her to the Water Walker for a couple of weeks and stuff like that. And, she just looks like she could be a really nice mare, and I think she'll be a very good brood mare as well, looking at her pedigree, and we've already had a couple of people come up to us and say, when you finish with her, we wouldn't mind breeding out of her. So she's obviously got good bloodlines and good crosses there somewhere.
We don't want you to do that yet. We need as many horses racing and many high quality horses like that. No. It was interesting talking to Alex too. He's going to go across to the George Johnson in Tasmania. That's a bit of the fun, isn't it, that you can get to now start travelling and see, like different parts and celebrate it a little bit with these horses.
Oh, absolutely. Plenty of fun. I enjoy racing horses with good people, and Taylor and Alex are fantastic to race horses with. And, as you saw, the horse turned out a treat today, and Albie gets all over the place. He's to Mildura on Tuesday. They place their horses well where they can earn, which is good for the owners, but good for them as well.
They've had a bit of a change too. I think they probably freely admit they're probably doing too many, doing it too hard. Yep. They weren't enjoying themselves. They've changed it. It's for the better for them. We've got to make sure more people are aware of it. We've got to make the industry better for it as well, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. We need the young people of the sport, and it's important that they're enjoying it as well, but at the same time getting the success that they deserve too. But they put a lot of work into it. Like, you talk about the hours that goes into it, and I was just looking at the horse. Everything was immaculate. Like, even the feet were trimmed down with a bloody shaver or something like that, and it's just like, this horse just looks a treat. If they go to that nth of the detail, I'm sure all the other trainers do it as well, but you just got to give credit to people when it's due.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the horse looked didn't look like it needed one or two runs. It looked like it was ready, primed, ready to go. Yeah. What is it, mate, with the industry that drives you? As long as I've been doing this MC job that I do, you've been given to punters clubs and things like that. You are a punter, so you obviously like the product.
Yeah.
But you're giving more and more than that now, and that's what I wanted to do, the chat about it. What is it about the industry that you find so special?
I think everyone says it's the people, like you love the people, and it's a bit more down to earth, I think. And, I know with the variety of different trainers that I have involvement with and the amount of different owners that I get involved in, I just enjoy that aspect of it. I love the punt. I don't shy away from that fact, and that's probably what got me in. But, my family, both sides of my family are involved right from the beginning, so I probably had no hope. But if you go through it, it's just about the enjoyment you get from the people. You like winning, the competitiveness, stuff like that. It's all aspects of it. But I think it gets down to the fact that it's the people, and I think that's why we do it, and that's why we put the effort into some of the things like punters clubs and stuff like that. And clubs like this are a good example. How many volunteers they'd have working for these clubs. It's just endless. And I suppose I was brought up going to country tracks like Nyre and Oyen and Mildura, and you saw all the involvement in the committees and things like that, and you like to give back. And the sport's been great to me and my brother Brett and the whole family, so it's just one way that we think we can give back by doing the punters clubs. And if we can get some enjoyment and show people that it's a good sport to be involved in, then it's just an added plus.
I love your answer and your honesty, because your answer wasn't the punt, your answer was the people, and that was the honesty part. And then you said in it, well, obviously the punt, because that's a part of it. To be honest, that's how you make a wage.
Yeah,
so it's quite interesting. But your initial one is the people.
Yeah. I could easily not own a horse. It would probably be more profitable for me not to be. But it's also giving back and meeting people and stuff like that. And you don't go into ownership thinking you're going to make money, but you think you can give back to the sport, and that's what I think is really important.
Have we lost sight of it though? As an industry, are we going like? I don't do the punt, and sometimes that could be to my detriment. Sometimes it might not be. I'm not a good punter. I don't want to be a good punter. It's just not what drives me. But I understand we need the punt for prize money and that. But have we gone just that little bit too far punt centric, that we've actually lost sight of what the product that we actually do have?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think I've been thinking about this for a number of years, and I'm probably a little bit different than you. I think socially, one of the biggest challenges of the industry is the punt, and that is that, if you think about Melbourne Cup Day 25 years ago, everyone would have a bet, but now, your percentage of the audience or percentage of the population that have a punt on Melbourne Cup Day is reduced substantially. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we've got, is socially people accepting the fact that the punt is okay, and that not everyone who has a punt loses. You can win on the punt if you do it responsibly, and I think that's one of the things we try and get across on when we do the punters clubs and things like that, that we want to do it responsibly and try and get a win out of it. But if we don't get a win, then we've done it in a responsible manner and treated it as our own money and stuff like that. And I really think it's one of the massive challenges we've got in the years to come, is that socially gambling's become, like everyone loses that gambles. Well, that's not the case.
No, and look, we say that, we can say it would never go away, but drinking, smokes have definitely gone away. So it can happen. And please, I enjoy punt too. I was in Launceston. I don't mind the tables. I don't mind betting on horses when I know the horses. But I'm not as driven around it, and that's why I like to ask these questions, because I think the industry, as an industry, we need to sit up and think about what we are doing. And then listen to other ideas. Don't necessarily say you've got the only idea and go that way and things along those lines. I think that's one of the key parts, and probably the message that you're getting out is you don't have to own horses, but owning horses actually gives you a different side of it as well, that you're having fun owning the horses. And there's two ways to experience this sport. There's probably 5 ways you can experience this sport.
I had a share in Harley Blue that raced today, and went down to the stalls and saw Sean after the race, and there must have been about 20 owners there, and all different age groups, and here to enjoy the day. And it's probably the cheapest horse I've bought into in the last 20 years, and just to look at the smiles on people's faces and the enjoyment they're getting, and it's introducing new people to the sport, I think that's the kind of thing that's important. And Sean's done a great job with that mare, and they'll have a lot of fun. And
that's probably the other side of it. There can be a bit of a struggle, is people like Sean that do an awesome job. Don't win week in, week out, but he does an awesome job with his horses. He's a great bloke. He's a lot of fun. We, as an industry, again, we need to market these guys, make sure people are aware of them. And if you want to get into horses that you can afford and all the rest, we're coming up with yearling sales. You can go and buy yearlings and things along those lines. We talk about syndicates a lot. It's not necessarily about syndicates, is it? It's sometimes just ring your mate up who owns a horse and say, listen, next time you get an offer, give me a bell.
Well, she was, I'm sure Sean won't be saying, it's $265 for a 5% share. And I got asked, would you go in it? Well, I can't knock it back for that kind of percentage, because I was hoping to run on Birchip Cup Day, which I'd love to. But, that's the kind of affordability you can have. You can go from that extent, or you can go to the yearling sales and buy a share in something a lot more expensive. But I think every one of those people that are involved in either that horse or the person that buys a $100,000 yearling is just as important, because all facets of the industry, no one's more important than the other. I mean, I'm firmly a believer of that. You might say, without the punt, we wouldn't exist. Well, no, I don't agree. We all are equal, and we've all got to appreciate the fact that we've all got part of the piece or part of the puzzle to, work together. And I think probably one of the things that's gone missing a few times over the years is some of us think we're more important than the other, and that's not the case.
No, I totally agree, and I find it quite interesting there. You didn't actually even mention the Birchip Cup. It's just Birchip Cup Day is when you want to run, if it is in the Birchip Cup, but that's if it is it.
We thought we'd have one in the maiden, but she's probably over-exceeded our expectations,
and go from it. And then another horse we were talking about earlier, going to the George Johnson time-honoured race, and never know, might end up at Menangle with some of those better class mares later on as well. So that's an important part, and we need to be able to celebrate it. Mate, thank you. Really do appreciate it. You hung around. It's a great day here. The people, some of the names, the life member committees, I just interviewed Judy Bond, and some of the stories that I think probably we take for granted. I think, I've got to get back into doing those old things. We've got to find out a few more of these stories about these people that have done so much for our industry.
Yeah, I had no idea, like, for instance, the race that we won with Major 5, the Simons family were even brought up at Wedderburn. I had no idea of that. But just watching some of the interviews today and stuff like that, it certainly takes you back. There's a good crowd here. It's not excessive, but, they've done a good job. They've got bus loads of people here today. Look out next year when they're back to their facilities. I'm not sure you've had a look, but, gee, they look magnificent. So if you're driving past, call in and have a look because just the elevation looks like it'd be an amazing place to watch the trots from. So I can't wait to get there next year.
Mate, I'm waiting for you to be like me. You'll be at every state. You're going to Tassie soon, New South Wales, you'll be in Queensland. Well, you've been in Queensland for the Inter-Dominion.
Yeah,
so you're going to end up jet setting everywhere. You tell me you only watch the Victorian form. You're going to have to start watching everywhere.
I'll have to renew my passport. I haven't.
You don't need it for Tassie. It's all good, mate. Thank you. And as I said, I look forward to. Probably won't ramp it up too much until about April, but I'm going to cover off and through the winter months try and guide people into winners or fun in the industry and just highlight some of the great achievements because there is so many great achievements that happen.
Today, Paul Castle.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like that also had its 50th start today, and they're the kind of stories, you know. Even old Silver Domino, the grey horse that runs around nearly every week, you know.
Yep.
But Paul Castle's winning his first race today. 15 years, first up for her. It's lovely to see that. I suppose it's Wedderburn, and it's a real Wedderburn day type thing with some of the grassroots people having a win. But the Paul Castle story, we need to get those kind of stories out there because we need those people in the sport, and they're the ones that sort of disappeared a little bit over the time. We lost our way a bit there, I reckon.
I caught up with Fiona didn't want to be in it. I caught up with them.
Yeah.
I probably could have got a camera shot of them afterwards. I'm sort of half glad I didn't because there was almost the tears. And that 92 they started in the industry, and that is their first winner. His two kids are the horses. Well done to Barry Beasley and all the guys down to Rang for keeping them so keen and so interested. You know, and I think that's the other thing. You've got to celebrate these guys that are doing a lot behind the scene. I'm sure Baz's and them once they finish milking cows, they're going to be sitting down having a quiet beer with him. And well done. But yeah, since 1992 he's owned or trained horses and.
50 start today?
49th. It's okay, yeah, but they are just great stories. Just very quickly, the horse that won the Cup, Pembroke.
Great run. Good drive.
Looks a very, very nice horse.
He's a nice horse. Like he ran second in the Cobram Cup. He probably got up in grade very quickly. So like even Cobram Cup Day, he was up against it, you know, first up in that class type thing. He's only 4-year-old, correct? Yeah. So, Invitation only beat him in the Cobram Cup, but they went hard a long way out. And good job by Jack, like go to the death and then sit in the 1-1 and off the peel. So yeah, he hit the line really hard. So they've got some nice horses coming through at the moment, the Douglases. So.
Mate, mine Cullen might have been about the only horse he put in front. He put in front of. Yeah, well, that's
that right?
Yeah,
in just Pembroke.
Yep.
Wow.
Saint Flash maybe, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Saint Flash, Torrid Saint. Sorry, I'll get the wrong one. I got in trouble for getting the wrong one before, but
Saint Flash was a nice horse too. So,
but he's better than Torrid Saint.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I had no idea.
Yep, that's a fair wrap, and the interview's there, so people will be able to see it a bit later on. But it's very, very exciting, and it's one thing. I mean, would he have gone around the Wedderburn track? Who knows? But pretty exciting for the club and that here, and good for the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mate, thank you. Love chatting. We'll be doing a bit more of it. So thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.